Hey, what's up everyone? I'm Josh and this is Fitness 253, bringing the second meal prep or real world meal prep video to the channel. So you saw me earlier do a honey balsamic chicken. We are going to do chicken again, except this time we're going to make it a little bit different. We're going to do a Spanish flair onto it and make it two different ways. We're going to do a pulled chicken street taco and nachos. And I'm going to let you guys assemble the nachos on your own. It's not too hard, and if you need a rundown on nachos, when in doubt, YouTube it. So we're gonna do these street tacos, but the taste and the mixture of the ingredients is gonna be pretty much the same. So we're gonna run through that. I'm gonna show you what exactly we got to prep. And again, through the magic of editing, I'm gonna shorten it down, make it simple and easy to do at pretty much any level. Let's jump right into it. As before, we're starting with chicken. I got 5 pretty good sized chicken breasts right here. Street tortillas, which are a little bit thicker than standard tortillas. Cheese, obviously Frank's Red Hot again. The usual salt, pepper, Worcestershire sauce. Not even gonna say how that's supposed to be said, but it's probably gonna be wrong. A little paste, bell peppers, green onions, and cilantro. And it's gonna use a little bit heftier cooking pot today just to fit all 5 of those chicken breasts in there. But if you don't got access to that kind of stuff, you could definitely scale it down. As well, we do have garlic, which you saw in the last video. That jar goes a long way, so we're gonna incorporate it. Really small on the camera here, can't really see it too well, is a chicken bouillon cube. That's gonna add a lot of really good chicken flavor to it. Other than that, a lime's just gonna add a little bit of acidity and a nice freshness to the dish. We're gonna chop it up and get it rolling. We're gonna jump into the prep and get all of this chopped up and ready to go, and I'll catch you in a minute. Up next, the vegetables have been cut, as well as the cilantro and green onion and the lime. We have the oven set to about medium high right now, so we can get a good roasted flavor out of these peppers. We're gonna get them going in a pan, and then we're gonna start assembling what is basically a broth that's gonna soak in the chicken and give it a good flavor. So let's jump right into sauteing up these peppers. All right, so we're gonna add a little bit of olive oil to help that browning process on these peppers, and we're just gonna throw them right in. As you can see, the peppers are getting a nice amount of color, which means we're gonna start assembling the actual stock that it's gonna go in. Right now, you're gonna add enough water that you would deem to be able to submerge the chicken in. It's obviously gonna drop the heat on the stove, adding that much cold water in at one time. Now, the reason why you don't wanna pull those off and then restart another pot is you want all that flavor from those roasted peppers to go into your sauce. What's going to go on is we're going to undo this little impossibly small cube of chicken bouillon, and we're going to throw it in there right at the beginning, get those nice chicken flavors throughout. We're about to put even more chicken in it. We're going to do half of the lime. That's going to add a nice little bit of acidity. That fresh lime's always a key. Okay, so we got the limes in there. We are going to add a little bit of salt, nothing crazy. Pepper, of course, that good old Frank's Red Hot. I like a little bit of salsa in mine. I think it gives a good, already roasted tomato, onions kind of flavor to it. And then you're gonna put in half the green onions and half the cilantro, saving a little bit because those are gonna go on our actual tacos themselves. But we got plenty more right there as well. The cheese and everything else we're gonna save for later. Not forgetting, of course, the garlic. You don't want to put this in with the peppers. Garlic burns really fast. We're gonna let that simmer for a little bit. We're gonna check on the chicken to make sure everything's going good, and I'll catch you guys in a minute. So just like in our last dish, we are gonna have rice. I'm not gonna show you how to make that. It was pretty dang simple the first time. It's gonna be the exact same thing, little salt and pepper, except this time we're gonna have an awesome sauce to go right on top of it. Not that the last one wasn't good, because I ate that ridiculously fast. But for the vegetables, in this case, instead of sweet potatoes, we're gonna substitute it with this right here, which is nothing more than just frozen vegetables, whatever mix you'd like. You're just gonna put it in a large microwave safe bowl and you're gonna throw it in there for as long as it takes for those to be obviously fork tender and cooked through. So you don't have to worry about the zucchini or the carrots needing to be cooked. They've already been partially cooked. All you're doing is heating them back up, which makes our meal prep that much easier. We are gonna put salt and pepper on them, and that exact same sauce that's going on the rice is gonna be right there on top of the vegetables, making this dish awesome and really easy to do. The only thing that's gonna depend on whether or not you can make this dish or not is if you're that 15 or 16-year-old kid living at home, your parents are comfortable with you dealing with the stove with a potentially large kettle. You want that sauce or that stock, however you want to call it, to be on a pretty high boil for probably 5 to 10 minutes. You want a chance for all those flavors to condense down, and you want this to reduce a little bit. That way when you drop the chicken in there, it's not some super watery stock. You want all that good reduced flavor soak into your chicken, and when we get done and all this is wrapped up, it's gonna be pulled apart tender, and it's gonna make awesome chicken and rice and vegetables street tacos, and it's also gonna make ridiculously good nachos, but we'll jump into that. The chicken just came off the grill. It looks pretty dang good. We are gonna put it in the simmering sauce we got right now and let it cook down a little bit. Hopefully it starts to get that pull apart tenderness, and we're gonna chop that up and I'm gonna throw it in there right now. Fast forward about 5 minutes of cutting the chicken, and it is all in there. Instead of making the rice how we did earlier, we're gonna call an audible. So we're gonna use that rice to thicken up the stock. That way you could spoon out the chicken and the rice and the tortilla over there, and it's gonna make it that much easier. So let's go ahead and dump it right in. We're gonna use the standard amount of measurement as last time. All right, so the chicken got done cooking. By putting that rice in the actual dish itself, all that rice absorbed that awesome sauce we had made, and it makes a really good, almost quasi chicken and rice. It's plated up behind me. I think it looks pretty good, and the best part is 2 cups of rice for all that chicken. It makes a ton of meal prep, and it smells amazing in my house right now. Let's take a look at what we made. As we said, putting all that rice in here, made a nice chicken and rice mixture. And that is our street taco. Chicken and rice, a little cilantro on top, little green onion. I like to use the other half of the bell pepper just to put on top. Adds a nice little crunch. And just to top it all off, take a little bit of lime, squirt it on top. Street tacos. Nice and simple, 1-pot recipe. If you don't include the grill, but who does? This concludes the second episode of Real World Meal Prep. If you like what you saw, hit that like button. Smash that like button for more meal prep videos. Write down in the comments, what do you guys want to see? What kind of flavors do you want to incorporate? Let me know if there's a different type of dish you want to make, or maybe a different platform. Maybe you don't want to see tacos. Maybe you want to see some sort of sub sandwich, or maybe you want to see a sandwich of any type that you can meal prep. Let me know in the comments. I appreciate all the support so far on the channel. As with the first one, the cook time is all going to be dependent on what type of source you're using. It took about the same amount of time, maybe a little bit less to cook the chicken this time, because as I said before, we were putting it in a simmering liquid, so I wanted to make sure it wasn't going to dry out on the grill. All it was 2 cups of rice and an entire bag of frozen vegetables. Easy as could be, 1-pot quasi chicken street tacos. Definitely hardier than the first one we made. Each one of those containers is probably a snack and a meal in its own right, and especially if you add on top of that you're supplementing protein shakes in between meals. Definitely hearty, definitely good for a good bulk, which is what I'm trying to do on that grind at 225. I appreciate you guys taking a look at the channel, jumping in for episode number 2 of Real World Meal Prep. Take it easy.